I must do the introduction. So, good afternoon and welcome to Forum Vision. Today, as you notice, I'm the one doing the introduction, but the host is still remaining the same, Mercy, and I'm Esperance, the co-host. And thank you for joining us into another sizzling discussion. And what are we talking about today, Mercy?
So we're talking about Congo and
Mhm.
the ongoing conflict
Yes,
um, that's is happening in the Eastern DRC
the Eastern
with
DRC.
the M23
Mhm.
rebel group
Backed by the RDF militia. Yes,
by Rwanda.
yes. RDF is basically the Rwandan army.
Okay,
Yes.
which I think they have denied any involvement, according to what I've been hearing.
Yes, the thing is they've been denying it from the beginning. For 30 years, they've always denied it. But now there are stronger evidence of them being involved that they
Hmm.
cannot even deny. So now
In what
they're,
way, though?
uh,
What are they doing in terms of like, are they funding the conflicts? Are they providing the soldiers? Are the soldiers from Congo or are they from Rwanda?
all right. So uh, basically, to speak plainly,
Yeah.
it's a mineral war.
Okay. So maybe you can just give us a little bit of a background
Background,
as to
yes.
what is. Yeah.
Oh, sure, yes. So it is a mineral war.
Okay.
You know, the coltan and the gas and all in the eastern part of Congo. And uh, the M23, backed
Yeah.
by the RDF militia, are basically the one ensuring that the minerals are looted and smuggled out of Congo through Rwanda, where it's labeled as made or coming from Rwanda,
Okay.
and then sold on the international market.
Mm.
So now it is also, if you want to look at the conflict, there is no way to look at it without looking at those who are behind. Because yes, we speak of M23 and Rwanda. Basically, M23 is just the RDF, is Rwanda, but they
Mm-hmm.
cannot be in another country's land. So they create a militia, which they claim have nothing to do with them, to operate there independently. But it's still the very same. Because the Ghana army cannot cross the Ghana's borders
Mm-hmm.
into Togo, for
Yeah.
instance.
Yeah.
You know, but what happened is they choose a label to make it look like it's just a couple of people, group
Mm.
of people who are fighting for whatever right they're fighting for, but deep down inside it's the Ghana army looting the mineral. I mean,
An
I'm just giving it,
example.
that's an
Yeah.
example. So that's basically what's happening. And yes, everybody points fingers at Rwanda now, but it's worth mentioning that Rwanda is not doing it of its own accord.
Oh, really?
No, they're not, because they are backed by the Western powers.
Okay.
They're backed by the Western powers.
Okay.
They receive the Rwandan army receives funding from France,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And they've been receiving trainings from America,
Okay.
military training
Mm.
and funds as well, like all that they've been receiving. And the Rwandan economy, 70% of it is funded by aid to development.
Okay.
And with the biggest donor, I think, being the United States of America. Now, here is the twist of fact. The conflict has been ongoing for 30 years, but in a space of few days, it just took another level.
Why do you think that is, though?
Oh, it's very simple. It's very simple because I, for one, saw it coming.
Mm.
President Trump comes into power. He doesn't want to do anything like his predecessor. And his predecessors were providing aid to Rwanda,
Mm-hmm.
financial.
Yeah.
And upon appointing Marco Rubio, I think, as Secretary of State, they've stopped all sorts of aid program to every
For
country.
90 days ahead.
Well,
Is
it's
it
going to
going to
be,
go
is
longer,
well,
though?
it will go longer,
Okay.
for 90 days, but we all know it's longer. So now it's only Israel and Egypt that are
Yeah.
receiving aid, but everybody else is not receiving a dime.
Mm.
Now, bear in mind, the Rwandan government Kagame was supposed to receive $121 million
Mm.
this year alone for, like contribution, aid contribution. Now with Trump putting a stamp to that, you know, so they're no longer getting the money.
Mm.
But how do you support your economy?
Without that money.
You get what I mean? How do you support? How do you
Yeah.
do that? So
Yeah.
they had, I think he's desperate now.
Mm.
He's
Mm.
playing his last card. It's like you're running out of funds, and your funders are refusing to back you because it's now known across the
Mm.
world who you really are.
Yeah.
So by dissociating themselves, you left alone. So it's a bit like a wounded lion. So
Yeah.
you just go all out. He went all out.
But according to him, he thinks that the Congo president is just putting blame on everybody else but themselves.
So how do you
You know.
explain? No, but no, no. That's the thing. And his lies are being debunked now.
Okay.
Are being debunked one by one because you come today, you say this,
Mm.
you come back tomorrow, you say something else, and then now you're just moving the goalpost,
Mm.
and
Mm.
then now because how do you explain that these people, these guys who are being caught, this rebel
Mm.
M23, and you say you have nothing to do with, they are caught and wearing the uniform of your army?
Okay.
That's
He
the first
has
question.
actually profusely denied
He
any
is
involvement, whether in terms of the M23 being from Rwanda
he has
or
denied
them
all that.
funding the conflict. He has profusely denied it,
He has, yes.
um, putting or apportioning all the blame to the DRC president.
Yes, that's what he's been doing. But he was also doing the very same in the early 2000s.
Mm,
It
mm,
was always the DRC,
yeah.
always the DRC. But it's known now. It's on tape, on videos, where he was talking about invading Congo in 1970s. He spoke about it casually, where they took a puppet and then appointed as a president, and then the puppet turned against
I
him.
heard something like that in
Yes,
an interview.
yes.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said these things bluntly. So
Mm,
now, how can you be recounting things that you've been saying? And
mm,
everybody know you've been involved in the region, this instability for all these years, and there
yeah.
are actually documented proof of his involvement. You know,
Do you
and
think this fight will definitely spill into Rwanda somehow?
if he is not careful,
Okay.
it's going there. Let me put it this way, right? On paper,
Mm.
militarily, I don't think, and I know most people,
Will agree
everybody
with
with
you.
common sense will agree. Rwanda does not have the military capacity or military might to face the DRC.
He said he does. He said he's ready. If that happens, he will be
Yes,
ready to
and the reason why
defend
he says
himself.
that is because he has backers.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
like on papers.
Yeah.
I'm just being factual.
Uh,
Like
that's
being
why we are
factual,
here. That's why we're
being
here. We're
factual.
here to provide all the facts.
There is no way
Yeah.
that the Rwandan army can stand against the DRC, but they can. They actually are doing it.
Mm.
It
Mm.
means there is definitely a hand behind it.
Okay.
You know, and let's just say for a moment you remove the DRC
Mm.
issue. You have the SNDF, the South African National Defense
Mm-hmm.
Force, that is there. Okay, let's say they can.
About
Uh,
eight of their
yeah, but do you
passed
also
away
explain?
through
Yeah,
that.
13 now.
Mm.
I think the number is
Oh,
13. It's gone up to
that's
13.
heartbreaking.
Yes, but do you think that a militia group,
Mm.
just a random militia group, can achieve such a feat without any assistance? And we said leaving the DRC army
Mm.
aside, the South African National Defense Force.
Mm. Mm.
I don't think so. So there's definitely, as they say, there is
Other
definitely
forces at
other
play here.
forces. He's been fed intelligence
Mm.
by his backers.
Okay.
He's been trained by his backers.
Mm-hmm.
And when people know how you fight, they must have learned it from somewhere.
I mean, these minerals are from the DRC. So
Yes.
how come they are not favoring the DRC and they backing the Rwandan president and everything they're doing in terms of this war?
Yes. Okay. It's a very complex question,
Yeah.
but to try and answer it in a more clearer way,
Mm.
I will say this. Kagame is playing the role that Mobutu used to play when he was in power.
Okay.
So Mobutu was the West foot soldier
Mm-hmm.
in Africa, in
Yeah.
Central Africa. He was doing the bidding of
Mm.
the West. Whenever anything was needed to be done, he was doing
He
it.
was the man.
He was getting aid in exchange,
Mm-hmm.
so foreign aid. And then when they decided to remove Mobutu, they had to have a new general in the region,
Mm-hmm.
and they went for the most reliable person at the moment to them, because you have to be a reliable slave
Mm. Mm.
house negroes,
Mm.
to be able to follow orders and stuff. So he was appointed.
Okay.
So now your mission is, as you are appointed there, you have to make sure that they get access to resources.
Mm.
However way you do it, they don't care. They want the
Whether
resources.
you kill each other
They
in the
really don't care.
process,
But
that's none
that's
of their
what usually
business.
happens, because Mobutu has butchered millions of Angolans, and there's been a tension between Congo and Angola.
Basically,
Same
genocide.
people,
Mm.
because of that conflict.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the airways from Togo, airways from Ghana, but because of a conflict, they went head on, and then they don't. It's because
Mm.
of that.
Mm. Yeah. Do you mind shedding a bit of light around the M23, whether they're from Congo or they're from Rwanda? Because it's been a conflict of exactly where they belong to.
Yes, that's a
And
very
how did that happen?
no, a very good question. They claim to be Congolese.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you've watched a few years back. There was this guy Bosco Tanganda,
Okay.
and just a soldier,
Mm.
M23 as well, who was caught. Prior to him turning himself in,
Mm.
he was 100% staunch Congolese. He was like, I'm Congolese, I'm Congolese, I'm fighting for Congolese and stuff.
Mm.
Turns himself in. He goes to the ICC. They ask him, present yourself.
Mm-hmm.
He says, Bosco Tanganda, I'm Rwandan and I speak Kenya Rwanda. So how do you shift change from saying you're a Congolese
Mm-hmm.
to
To
say
being a Rwandan.
to being a Rwandan? Now that because his cover is blown up, and he said a lot of things there. He said, they were trained and sent into Congo and stuff like that.
Mm.
And leaving it in that, they, during the reign of Kabila, the old Kabila,
Yeah.
his general chief of staff claimed to be 100% Congolese.
Mm.
I'm Congolese blood and parents and stuff like
Yeah.
that. When the war broke in, he just shifted to Rwanda,
Mm. Mm.
where he has served as a Minister of Defense. He served as all of that at the camp and whatever. He's still in Rwanda now. So they, when it's convenient,
Mm.
when they want something, they pass as Congolese.
Mm.
Because I mean, there is no valid reason to say I'm Rwandan, but I'm fighting in Congo. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you have to say I'm Congolese. So
Where they used to live, is it far from Rwanda?
where
Like, what is the margin? How far is that space, that place, from Rwanda, in order for them to say whether they belong to Congo or whether they belong to Rwanda?
it's border. It's at the border, right at
Just
the border.
okay,
They're on the other side,
and
and then they're
those people are here.
these people are here,
Okay.
and then now they're passing on as people who are from here. But
Hmm.
we all know, and when they get caught,
Okay.
they are from there, and
All
then they
right.
say send us back to Rwanda.
Okay.
So it's
Mm.
it's it's been that is the thing is, and I'm glad that it comes to that, because a lot of things are now being exposed and
Yeah.
blown up, and the myth behind Rwandan miracle is finally coming in. There's
Mm.
never been a miracle in Rwanda. He's been manipulating the numbers all along.
So how do we solve this problem of continuous conflict in Africa, with what we're seeing in Congo
Hmm.
right now?
Hmm.
How do we solve this problem? Because I think we cannot go on like this as
No, we
Africans.
cannot.
You
We cannot.
know.
It's very alarming. And mind you, but one thing I want to add again to this conversation is this: whatever conflict it is,
Yeah.
the Rwandan people
Mm.
and the Congolese people are just normal. They're okay. They're
Mm.
getting married. Everything is normal. So it goes to show that it's at the top.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
the policies at the top that is actually affecting, because
They're just
people,
pawns being
yes,
used in this kind of game.
that is it.
Okay. All right.
Now, so, I mean, Congolese don't have problems with
Mm.
Rwandans.
Mm.
Rwandans don't have problems with
Yeah.
Congolese. They live next to each other every day. But it's that ideology that, the current government of Rwanda is pushing to say they always play the victim card,
Yeah.
like we are victimized and victimized. Well, these are Tutsis. It says these are Rwandese.
Mm.
That's what it claims now. These
Yeah.
are Rwandese. Uh, no, no, because they are from Rwandan origin. That's
Mm.
why they are being marginalized. But you can't say that. You can't say they're being marginalized. Meanwhile, we have people from Rwandese origin
Mm.
who are in the government right now.
Mm. Because, well, according to him, these people were Congolese, and over 100,000 of them
Hmm.
were displaced from Congo, and that's why they moved into Rwanda, and Rwanda has been taking care of them
Hmm.
for over 23 years.
Okay, let's say for a fact that it's true,
Yeah.
which I dispute. But this is how I'm going to blow up that I'm a Congolese. You're
Mm.
Ghanaian.
Yeah.
You can be a Ghanaian refugee in South Africa.
Mm.
But the day you want to go back to Ghana, nobody can stop you from going back to Ghana if
Mm.
you really are a Ghanaian,
Mm.
isn't it?
Yeah.
You can be a refugee in Togo as a Ghanaian,
Mm.
but if you want to go back to Ghana, nobody will ever say you are not welcome.
Mm.
So if they were really that, and he claims that they want to go back, nobody's stopping them. They can just cross the border and then just settle.
But don't you think maybe they are scared for their lives, or it's
But
because
who?
of um, them being marginalized where they have been living before, which is in Congo? There was this name that he described them as. That's why, like, people haven't really accepted
It,
this M23 people.
yes, but I think, see, this is again, as I said, all these are just lies that have been piled up for
Okay.
generations. Because
Just to make his story
yes, and
seem
more
more.
credible. And the
Okay.
reason why he wants that is he has never cared about his, like,
The new refugee
no, no,
or
he has
his own
never cared.
people. Okay.
What he wants, he's always wanted the mines
Mm.
and the land,
Okay.
because the mines are on the land,
Mm.
obviously. So you have to have the land. That's what matters to him. So you have to find a narrative to go through that.
Does Rwanda have minerals of their own? Do they have any
Zero.
minerals? Zero.
Not
Okay.
even a single open, not even a single mine,
Mine. Okay.
because they've been challenged and say, okay, you are exporting all this content.
Mm.
Show us just
One
one mine,
mine. Okay.
not two, not three, just one mine. You've never seen it to this day.
Mm. Mm.
Never seen it.
Okay. Well,
But
that makes so much
it
sense.
does. But I think also you have to. I'm looking at the Western powers, and the reason why they chose him is because he gives them is consistent in
Mm.
delivering.
Mm.
So when you are a good house Negroes, you can get away with
Yeah. And are there no
everything.
competitors, like, in terms of, because when is the election
Well,
in
there was election a few years back. He wins the election by like
95%, which I heard. And according to him, that's not his problem. If there's nobody else competent enough to stand against him,
yes,
well,
but
that's what. Yeah.
how convenient is it that people are barred from? I mean, it's not his problem, but
Yeah.
how convenient is it that nobody challenges you, because some people will go and enroll
Mm.
and they are turned down.
Mm.
Some people, like there is
How
just
does the democracy work in Congo? Because, I mean, how do you turn people down if they
no in
want to
Rwanda, you mean?
participate? No, no, I mean Congo.
No, no, in
Oh, no,
Congo,
no, no. We're talking about
we're
Rwanda.
talking about
Yes, we're
in
talking about
Congo.
Rwanda.
It's all about your money. If you have
Okay,
money to,
you will be able to.
you can. You're
But then in
Congolese. You have all the
Rwanda,
requirements. In Rwanda,
what
it's not
happens
such
in
the case
Rwanda?
because he basically runs against himself.
Mm.
So again, when the electoral commission
Hmm.
say come and drop your
Yeah.
I mean, come and enroll if you want to run.
Mm.
You go and enroll. The next day, they tell you your candidacy, I think it is,
Yeah.
has been rejected on whatever ground.
Don't people contest,
No, they
like?
don't really contest, and even those that contest, it's basically just out of it's
Yeah,
ceremonial. It is ceremonial,
nothing will
and
come out
those
of
who
it.
really are a challenge to him
Mm.
get arrested.
Mm.
I don't know if you've seen that. The past elections, people disappear mysteriously. You just,
This is serious in Africa, and I
it
think
is, it
it's
is.
about time we sit down as leaders, even with the Eastern African leaders. I think they have to come together, sit, and find a solution to this problem
I,
because it's not a one country problem,
yeah, no, it's
really.
not. And I think the solution for that will be a very, it's a bit complicated because
Mm,
now you're gonna have to buy minerals from Congo, which means Rwanda will stop getting aid
yeah.
definitely from all over. And if Rwanda stop getting aid, it cannot function. It will collapse.
When are we going to be self sufficient
That
as
is the
African?
question. I think you know,
Why aren't we
if
free?
he had came
Mm,
with that vision
mm,
to say I have nothing,
yeah.
but from this nothing I will forge something. I don't think he would have had problems even
Mm.
buying minerals from Congo and stuff.
Forging
You
alliances
know,
and
for that's what you do when
yeah.
you don't have anything. But when you want to go and grab, and then now these guys, you tell the West that I'm able to give you coltan.
Yeah.
The day you are no longer able to give them coltan,
Mm-hmm.
you have to go.
Yeah.
And you don't just go. They will take you. They will drag you to ICC all over. You know how it is.
Mm.
You know they will destroy you. So
Yeah.
I think he knows that's what's coming, so he wants to hold on to his end of the bargain.
Mm. It's hectic. We always
It
say we
is.
are free. Are we really free as Africans? Because we depend on the West for almost everything.
No, because we choose to depend on the West.
We can be self sufficient,
That is it. We choose to
whether
be dependent on the West. It's
through infrastructure, economic
mm,
development. Like we can be self sufficient.
we can, and I like what the former Kenyan president said there because at least that man had the nerve
Yeah.
to stand up to Kagame and tell
Mm.
him
Mm.
exactly what he was doing. But he said something again interesting lately after talking about the American canceling the aid. He says it's
Yeah.
not your money anyway.
Mm.
Why do you cry?
Mm.
He's doing anything for his government. He says we spend money buying bullets. I know he was speaking indirectly to
Mm.
you buying bullets to attack your fellow African. We
Yeah.
spend more money on buying bullets to kill each other than we
What we
spend
spend
on
to
actually
develop.
developing ourselves. I know he was referring to
Mm.
Kagame because they've had dealings before, but you know, so unfortunately,
Yeah.
that is it.
It's heartbreaking, seeing fellow Africans
Mm.
killing each other,
Mm.
demeaning each other. Just, yeah, what are we going to do?
We need to get rid of the bad apples
How do we
amongst
do
us, the
that?
house
It's not going to
Negroes,
be
the
easy
people who
anytime
are
soon.
no, but the people who are working against our unity or working against peace or
Mm.
working against what we want to achieve,
Yeah.
we have to put them aside.
I mean, getting rid of them, it has become, um, picking up of arms, and I don't think that's the way to go in terms of like trying to get rid of this bad apples. So I think that more people should, as you said earlier on, it's very difficult for other people to contest in this elections, to
Mm.
be
It
elected
is
as leaders.
impossible. He's
It's
holding the country hostage. I'm
yeah.
saying it. He's
Yeah.
holding Rwanda hostage,
So
and I'm trying to be as unbiased
yeah.
as I can.
Mm.
I know I'm Congolese,
Yeah.
but I have to be unbiased. And also
That's why we are here.
in his defense,
Mm.
in his defense, the agreement he had with Kabila, the
Mm.
father, was I will help you reach the presidency. You will be president of Congo.
Mm.
In return, you will give me 300 kilometers of land inland, and then you are going to give me the minerals that are on those
That
lands.
land.
Yes. And Kabila, when he took power,
Mm.
because he signed the agreement already
Mm-hmm.
prior to that,
Mm.
when he took power, he said, I know I signed those agreements, but I
Mm-hmm.
did not sign it as a head of state. I
Okay.
signed it as a rebel. So, as the head of state of
Oh my
Congo,
word.
I
I've
owe
seen
you,
things and I know that it's not gonna
yeah.
work.
So, I
So,
owe you nothing.
oh my word.
Now, you can't also allow people to let people use their resources
Mm.
to take you to a place. and then when you get there, you're like, okay, you
Mm.
can just go to her. So
Yeah.
he feels entitled because
Mm,
that was the
mm.
agreement, and even the West were aware of that
That
agreement.
agreement.
So
So they will just help him
mhm,
get what he wants. In
that
turn,
is
they
it.
get what they want as
That
well.
is it. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's been interesting.
yeah,
It's been interesting having this conversation, and I'm sure we will be continuing because it's a lot to unpack.
it is a
We will
lot.
be talking more
It is
about
a lot. A very
the
complex,
conflict in.
because we have not even talked about the origin of the
Yeah,
conflicts, but we
yeah,
were just talking about what's happening currently here.
yeah. So we will be closing the first chapter
Hmm.
of this topic, and then later on we'll bring you guys the next chapter of this conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. Please do subscribe, um, like, share, comment. We want to hear your views as to what you think of what is happening in Congo and other African countries. It's not just about Congo. It's about
Even Sudan, there's
Sudan.
also something happening in
Yes,
Sudan and
yes,
in Libya,
as well in Libya as
in
well. So
Mozambique as well.
so
Well, Kagame is again involved in
can
Mozambique,
you believe that?
in
So
Central Africa as well, where he
from
is involved
from eastern
again.
to central. So yeah, let's be vigilant. Let's
Mhm.
be let's love our country. Let's love our continent enough to not just pick up arms to solve our problems, but try to negotiate, try to speak to each other and form communities to be able to solve problems like this. And we will see you guys again very soon with more insightful topics right here on Forum Fusion. My name is Mercy McAfo.
And I'm Esperance, and we say so long.